Good afternoon and thank you for joining us today. I'm Hayden Balgavy. Now at noon, the Diamond Hogs survive a late Ole Miss rally to force a winner-take-all showdown in Omaha. Tyler Cass has a look ahead to this do-or-die ball game between the Razorbacks and the Rebels. And you may be paying more for your 4th of July fireworks this year. What you need to know. And 50 years after Title IX, a response from the Biden administration is just ahead. But first, we want to start with developing news this afternoon. A judge has denied a request by the West Memphis Three to get newly discovered evidence and DNA tested. Now, for the last 2 years, Damian Eccles has been working to prove his, Jason Baldwin, Jesse Miskelly's innocence in the 1993 murder of 3 boys. Now, earlier this year, his request to test the evidence using new technology was denied by the Crittenden County prosecutor. And today, that decision was upheld by the judge. Now, Eccles issued a statement on Twitter following the decision, saying in part, quote, "This is a great disappointment to us and traumatic as well, but we will continue to press forward," end quote. We're going to have reaction from the hearing tonight at 5 and 6.
Certainly turning out to be a very hot afternoon. Temperatures, in fact, across most of the natural state here already in the 90s. And of course, we have several hours of heating left to go. Here's where we're at. The numbers on the board say 93 in Little Rock, 95 already in Camden, 90 in Clinton, sitting at a cool 89 in Russellville and Batesville. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, factor in the humidity. Of course, it's a much different picture. Triple-digit heat index values common across the natural state here. And it's only going to get a little bit warmer. Temperatures could feel as high as 105, 106 over the next couple of hours before eventually cooling off later this evening. Lots of sunshine out there today. A few more clouds are going to bubble up in your afternoon sky. Some relief finally on the way. It doesn't arrive until Sunday, though, and it does get hotter before it gets here. But we will take a look at that cold front, the chance of rain, and the cooler temperatures that it's to bring coming up in a few moments.
After a thrilling 3-2 victory last night for Arkansas, the Razorbacks and Rebels square off this afternoon with a trip to the College World Series final on the line. Tyler Cass is in Omaha and has much more on this big ball game this afternoon. Tyler, it's going to be a fun one.
Oh, that's for sure, Hayden. And you know, Arkansas, the home team in this one, which means in just a few hours, Dave Van Horn will take his spot in the dugout right here to overlook everything. And Dave had a pretty big decision to make going into this. Who do you start? He's had to kind of ride through this gauntlet of 3 games in 3 days just to get here. And in the long run, maybe it wasn't actually the hardest decision. Connor Noland, the ace all year long, the Arkansas native out of Greenwood, the man who at one point also played quarterback for the Razorbacks. He was nails in game 1 against Stanford. He's used to getting a week in between games worth of rest, but with Arkansas season on the line tonight, the decision for TVH was obvious.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan. If we could get to tomorrow, then, we weren't going to use him tonight, or we'd have used him. And give him another day, and he's been preparing for it and working out just like their guy. He was long tossing today. We saw him. We watched. We knew that, he was getting ready for tomorrow if needed. So, yeah, that's the plan, and I don't know. We'll just, again, the game usually tells you what to do.
TVH has told Connor Noland what to do. Expect the ball, and no one wants that more than Noland. He's emerged as the leader of this team, and he's the guy that Hog fans want with the ball in his hands. He went 8 innings in a loss against Ole Miss earlier this year. Hogs hope they get a similar performance out of Noland, and hopefully the Bats do more this time around. That game coming your way at 3. We'll keep you updated all afternoon long. For now, though, live from the Chuck in Omaha, Tyler Cass, THV11 Sports. Now we'll send you over to Tom Brannon.
All right, Tyler Cass, thank you so much. We're here with the CHV11 Summer Cereal Drive, and we've got a bunch of cereal today donated by the folks here in Pulaski County, Little Rock, a lot from Walmart, and a group that we're going to introduce you to. This is Talisa Charles and her group. Who is your group? I see it on the board over there, but I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to let you tell me who you're with.
We are with Prince Hall Masons, Order of Eastern Star, Prince Hall affiliated jurisdiction of Arkansas, and we are with District 7 South here in Little Rock.
District 7 South. I tell you what, you've got a great total over there. How many boxes of cereal are you donating today?
We're going to give y'all 845 boxes.
845. Give yourselves a big hand. These fine folks here, Prince Hall Masons in Order of the Eastern Star, PHA. That's probably the longest title of a group we've had today. Congratulations, you win. The list, the cereal just keeps piling up. Chris, I walked away from you, sorry. I wanted to show this real quick. There's more here, and there's even more on the other side. We're going to talk to our pantry who's going to benefit from this cereal the next time we speak, and we'll give you a total as well. Back to you.
Tom, thank you. A Perry County detention officer is now dead following a shooting that took place inside the county jail. Now, currently authorities are holding a man in connection to the shooting who was booked at the time for other charges. Now, the name of the correctional officer is currently being withheld until a family member has been contacted. Arkansas State Police are currently investigating this incident. We will keep you updated as we get more information. The FDA is banning Juul cigarettes from being sold in the U.S. Now, it's the latest blow to the company, widely blamed for sparking a national surge in teen vaping. The move is part of a sweeping effort by the Food and Drug Administration to bring scientific scrutiny to the multi-billion-dollar vaping industry after years of regulatory delays. The Supreme Court has ruled on its first major gun rights case in more than a decade. In a 6-3 decision, the justices shot down a New York law which required applicants for a concealed carry license to show a special need in order to be approved. The justices said the requirement violates the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Later today, the House committee is getting set to hold its 5th public hearing regarding last year's January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Now, this all comes as CBS News has learned that the U.S. Capitol Police security detail is expected to expand for all committee members following a rise in threats. Trinity Chavez has the latest.
Day 5 of the House Select Committee hearings is set to reveal how President Trump tried to pressure the Justice Department to support his false claims of election fraud. In its series of public hearings investigating the January 6th Capitol attack, the committee is aiming to lay out a trail of evidence showing that even many who were in Mr. Trump's inner circle warned him that his efforts were unfounded.
The president's own Attorney General, Bill Barr, said he told the president about these claims of massive fraud affecting the outcome of the election.
I told him that the stuff that his people were shoveling out to the public were that the claims of fraud were.
Among those expected to testify today is former Acting Attorney General Jeffrey A. Rosen. The session is expected to examine a January 3rd, 2021 meeting inside the Oval Office, where the president reportedly discussed replacing Rosen with Jeffrey Clark. Clark was a lower-ranking administration official who supported Mr. Trump's claims of widespread election fraud. Trinity Chavez, CBS News, New York.
The Uvlade School District's police chief has now been placed on leave after his leadership was called a, quote, abject failure. That criticism coming from Texas's head of public safety, who said Chief Pete Arredondo made, quote, terrible decisions. He could have sent officers into the classroom 3 minutes after the shooting began. Instead, he waited more than an hour. Arredondo told a Texas newspaper he didn't believe he was actually in charge.
And the motion is agreed to.
With a 64-34 vote, the Senate has moved closer to passing new gun control measures. The bipartisan deal expands background checks for people under 21, giving up to 10 business days to review juvenile and mental health records.
I am pleased Congress is on the path to take meaningful action to address gun violence for the first time in nearly 30 years.
Someone who has never been convicted of a violent crime or adjudicated as mentally ill will not have their rights affected.
There's also hundreds of millions of dollars for mental health and school safety resources, plus tough penalties for those who buy guns and then turn around and sell the firearm to anyone not legally allowed to own a gun. The North Little Rock School District is looking to hire armed security officers for the upcoming school year. And today, the district is taking that new safety plan to the Board of Education over plans to invest more than $700,000 over a 2-year period to implement that plan. Now, Director of Safety Services for the North Little Rock School District, Hayward Finks, says his new safety and security plan would take the district to the national level when it comes to safety. It would bring 11 armed officers to the district's 9 elementary schools, including the Early Childhood Center and North Little Rock Academy.
Having a school-age child myself, I know how important it is that when a parent drops their child off at school in the morning, they know that that child is going to be safe.
They'll be taking their plan to the Board of Education in hopes of getting that final approval. Well, this year, your 4th of July fireworks plans may come with a little bit of a sticker shock. In 2 minutes, what's behind the skyrocketing price of your fireworks?
It's hot and it's only going to get hotter. I'll have a look at how hot those weekend temperatures are going to be, as well as the very latest on a cold front, that much anticipated cold front that is going to bring some cooler air. Everything you need to know to get ready for the weekend coming right up.